65 or older, a trip to the pharmacy is a lot more pleasant than a trip to the hospital because of pneumococcal pneumonia. Help protect yourself with the Prevnar 13 pneumococcal 13-valent conjugate vaccine, diphtheria CRM 197 protein. Prevnar 13 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 13 does not protect against all strains of the disease. Stop by the pharmacy today and ask about Prevnar 13. Learn more at Prevnar13.com. Don't get Prevnar 13 if you have had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with a weakened immune system may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-866-694-9300 or visit Prevnar13.com.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Celebrity Soul Food flagship restaurant is now here in Ocala. Best-in-class service and legendary recipes. You'll be elevated with a classy design in this 3,800 square foot restaurant with a menu that has scratch-made dishes prepared with a VIP experience for every guest. Located at 2237 Southwest 19th Avenue, right on Easy Street. Celebrity Soul Food. This is food with soul.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917. In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She joins us every Tuesday right here on these airwaves at WOCA, The Source. 622-9622 is the number to call if you want to get in on the program. Carol Ann, before we went to break, I was talking about maintenance. And what I mean by that is, like, take my peace lily.
Right.
It bushes out.
Right.
It's real bushy. But if you look underneath the good green leaves, you'll look, there'll be some scraggly brown leaves
brown,
and everything.
Icky ones,
you pull them and they come out real easy.
Right.
The roots come out and everything. How important is that maintenance of those plants?
I mean, usually we try to do that throughout the year, just checking on plants. Because, when you're doing that, you're also looking for pest or disease issues at the same time. That if you've got a plant that maybe you struggle with, you're looking at that one way more often. But then you've got some other things that, suddenly you're looking and you're cleaning up. Because, again, you might be contemplating that these are going to come into the garage, the carport, the lanai, wherever for in upcoming months, or you're deciding, hey, I can put this in the ground now, it's less stressful, not quite as hot, and you're looking for those things, and at any time you can take off the bad leaves, the dead stems, browned out fronds off of palm trees and things like that, and clean them up. And I mean, it just keeps the landscape looking a little tidier, and keeps the job down to something smaller than having to do it all at one time.
Does those dead, non-living pieces of plant, though, are they a deterrent to the plant that's live at all?
While they are declining, they are taking some energy from that plant. Usually once that leaf or stem or thing like that is brown and brittle, it's done with it. It's already cut it off from trying to feed and trying to nurture that. Most of the energies when plants, the reason for feeding in spring is coming out of a cooler, dormant time that's stressful to the plant, and that they're getting ready to flush new growth. Why do we feed in early fall? Because they're getting ready to settle in. They've been growing
for a
and
long
thriving.
Winter's
But they've been growing all summer during that active growing period. They're blooming, they're fruiting, they're setting seeds, they're putting on new growth, and they need to be fed again because they're getting ready to slow down, and daylight is shorter, so photosynthesis may not be quite as efficient and things like that, or that we're carrying them inside into less than ideal conditions for them. And so, just during all that maintenance and that it's, we're just, we're helping out in nature. That leaf would fall off. When it was done, it would fall off. It would be litter underneath the tree or the plant, which would eventually break down and feed that plant over time. We go out with our lawnmowers and turn all that stuff in. You got the mulching blade, turn it all into little tiny stuff, and guess what? It's going back and feeding those trees and shrubs again. Folks, I've had people, asking, well, what's, I don't know if I want to use mulch, around trees. You don't really have to use mulch around trees. You could a couple of times a year maybe run your, if you have a bagger for your mower, you could easily bag that stuff up. Put it back around there. You have oak trees, you got oak leaves. Rake them up and put them back in there. It's just a little easier, or they break down a little faster if you can run them over with the lawnmower. Again, they're not going to hurt anything because they contain what that tree grows. It's everything, that they have. So there is still, and it still creates, if you ever go walking in a wooded area, or maybe you've taken down some trees in a thicker area, look at the soil in the ground in those areas, and you'll see how much nicer with all the leaf mold and all that stuff.
Rich dirt.
Rich soil. It's, yes, it's sandy, but it still has texture
because
and body.
So much the ecological system has become part of the dirt.
Exactly, and that's, people freak out. Every so often there's a post on some kind of gardening page, what freaks you out the most, and they have spiders and snakes and cockroaches, and grasshoppers. I think the cockroach is the creepiest one, only because it flies suddenly.
Well, that's really a palmetto bug.
It's all in the cockroach family,
right.
And it's huge.
Just swat it. Just move it out of the way.
Well, the actual palmetto bug, the one I think of as a palmetto bug, doesn't want to be in the house anyway.
No.
Neither does the American cockroach, and that's the one. The southern cockroach is what some people call a palmetto bug. Those fly, and those will freak. They freak you out, but they don't really want to be in the house.
The German cockroach likes to be in the house.
The German cockroach wants to be in the house. The Asian cockroach, that in spring you begin raking up around your front door, all your planting beds, and next thing you know, you go, they're all coming to the light, and they're coming in the house. Yeah, that's an Asian cockroach. It doesn't want to be in the house. It got in advantageously because the door opened. But the other ones that, and I did not, until I became a master gardener, there's a neon green cockroach that you'll find when you're working in the yard.
Okay.
He's about the color of the green there on your little cookie package over there. And I just thought he was a cool bug. He's just kind of cool.
You thought a lot of bugs were cool coming up,
bugs
didn't
are cool. And then I found out he was the Cuban cockroach. And I went, why did somebody have to tell me he's a cockroach? But he's still cool. He lives in leaf litter. And that's the adult, is when they're green like that, which is kind of weird because now he blends in with the lighter green leaves that might be falling off of trees and that. And they all live in that leaf litter. They consume that leaf litter.
Certainly.
They consume that dead plant material. And actually right now, one bug I really do hate, and it's only because they do have a defense mechanism.
The stink bug?
No, the stick, a walking stick.
Oh, yeah, walking stick, yeah.
And there's actually a pair on my car right now. They can hold on at 45, 50 miles an hour.
You got a pair of walking sticks on your car right now?
Yeah, it's on the mirror.
They'll stay there for a long time,
yeah.
too.
Yeah, because, they can hold on. They hold on better than a lizard does.
Yeah, which is hard to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you mentioned something in passing just a few minutes ago that I want to circle back to.
Okay.
And you said if you want to put a plant in the ground right now, take it out of a pot,
right.
you're thinking about putting it in the ground right now because it's less stressful.
Right.
Talk about why it's good right now because of the low humidity and the cooler temperatures. Why it's good if you're gonna go from pot to ground. Why right now is a good time?
Right now is a good time because it's not 95 degrees with 95% humidity. It's
where you got to keep the water on it to keep it cooled off.
It's not so hot, and it's not raining every day where it's flooding it. Possibly too much water. It's better if you can control that water initially because then you know how much you're putting on it. The cooler temperatures mean it's not going to transpire quite as much water out of its leaf surfaces trying to stay cool. And even though it's drier, you'd think, well, it's gonna transpire more water, but not necessarily. I mean, it's something, if it's got roots on it, you just need to keep that root ball watered. It's cooler. The days are a little shorter, so the sun is not quite as intense upon it. And for us, we're lucky, here that if it's grown in a pot, it can be put in the ground at any time of year.
Right.
But there are certain times that are better to put it in, just because you can get it established before the next growing season.
And this is one of those times.
And this is a good time of year. You fruit trees and things like that, getting them in the ground now, regular shade trees and things like that, getting them in the ground now will allow them to grow here from mid-September. Actually, we're at the end of September. We got one more week. We got one more week of September.
No, we have. Today's the 28th.
We have 2 days. We have 2 days left of the this is October.
Wednesday, Thursday.
So this is October.
Friday is October uno.
Yeah. So at this point in the year, that it has from October, November, December, January, February, March. It's got 5 months to get its roots settled without an expectation of growth. Yeah, and when we put them in the ground, say in April, May, or June, we're putting them in the ground, and that tree's just, what's it trying to do? It's trying to grow. It's trying to grow. It's trying to flower. It needs to grow roots. When I say with the fruit trees, roots before fruits.
Yeah, we put the fruit trees in the ground a year ago. A year ago this week.
Okay.
So last week of September.
Okay.
A year ago.
Yeah.
And so they didn't fruit at all the first year.
No, but you've had some flowering on the grapefruit.
Yeah, on the grapefruit.
Right.
And I think the root system are great in both of them because they both are strong.
Right. It's just that poor lemon tree is just...
and we have not fertilized it yet. We're going to do that this weekend. We're going to put some regular fertilizer on it. And
get a good citrus fertilizer and then a nitrogen-sourced fertilizer.
So what we're going to do is try to change the green leaves back to dark green.
Yeah, get them back to green. And and you may lose some of them. I mean, it was the lemon that lost its leaves last winter, wasn't it?
They both lost their leaves
they did.
last winter.
Okay. So lemon especially, I think, is going to need a little extra TLC this winter. Grapefruit, depending, just watch if it's going to drop down below 30 or below 28. Yeah, I'd be protecting.
Well,
that
we
one.
wrap them. We wrap them with the blankets and everything, and then of course Susan came up with the genius pool noodle
the
idea.
pool noodle thing. That's fantastic. Yeah, pool noodle. Yeah, smaller diameter trunks. Even on just regular small trees that you're putting in.
Yeah.
Keep the guy with the weed whacker away from it.
Of course it does. That helps too.
Yeah, and whether and if you pick a bright color, there's no excuse.
And Susan has now found that even a bigger, thicker thing.
Right,
you
the bigger
take two pool noodles
and put them
one on each side.
Right. Yeah, split it down
Right.
and that way just use a little piece of tape to
Little
hold
tape
it
to hold it
together.
together.
And it works. Yep.
Because that's very good insulation. Those pool noodles are great insulation.
Certainly.
Great
And whoever came up with that is, and it's funny that it was somebody totally different than Nerf.
Yes.
You would have thought that Nerf would have
Would've
been
come
the
up with
one.
a pool
that-
noodle.
But
Yeah.
I
But-
bet you it was a former Nerf employee.
But I don't think they ever designed a pool noodle to be the grafting.
No, or to be the protector,
Insulator.
right? The
Yeah.
insulator, because there is pipe insulation that you could use also. That maybe doesn't stand out quite so much, in the landscape. Would
Well,
be
the
the
pool
black
noodle,
pipe.
there's no way the guy's going to whack it with the weed eater.
No, that
weed
is
whacker
very true.
With a pool
He's
noodle.
He's gonna stay away from it, and even if he got close, he's gonna hit that pool noodle first, and so.
It's one of those little life hacks, folks.
Yes,
The pool
yes.
noodle. Who knew?
It's-
Susan and Susan just went right to it. She goes, "I think this will work,"
Yeah,
and she put a pool noodle.
in
on.
order to protect that graft area.
And it worked
Yep.
perfectly.
So that's
Because
what matters.
explain to listeners again that may not know why we're protecting the graft area.
Because if the tree freezes, citrus trees are grafted. So are many of our other fruit trees.
Right, because you have to have
You
to get them together to make it sweet.
You need a good root stock to make your hardiness and disease resistance and things like that. And then we bring that sweet tree over to that hardier root stock, and it also brings that tree into a maturity a little bit sooner. Because you've got a couple things that started out the size of magic markers or pencils, and then by the time you buy it, it's the size of a hot dog or something like that when you're putting it in the ground. Now I'm going to be ready for lunch here when I get out of here. And that if we have a winter bad enough to cause damage to that top leafy portion and kill that off, if the graft has not been damaged, it will come back from that grafted area. If it freezes all the way to the ground, it's coming back from the root stock, and which can be a very pretty tree, but it's just not going to give you the fruit quality.
Sour.
It's going to be very sour. But they flower like crazy, and they don't seem to be bothered by pests. The sour root stocks.
Right.
And I mean, if you just, if it's like, okay, well, I don't care. Yeah, okay, just realize that tree's going to get really, really big, and it's not going to be real useful.
How long?
Unless you make mojo sauce or,
How long are we out in this area from putting things like potatoes in the ground?
Potatoes, you still have several months. You're looking at probably December, January. Your onions, November through January, February. I've had this pot, hanging basket kind of, or hanging pot thing, tiered up, that I've tried different things in it, not to very little success. So this year I'm doing lettuce.
Right.
And so I planted lettuce in it just the other day, and I think it's cool enough to go ahead and start some lettuces. Your cabbage and broccoli and things like that, you might start them if you have peat pots, or recycle your yogurt cups and things like that, or plastic paper Dixie cups. You can start them in those. I wouldn't be looking to put those truly, truly cool season things in the ground for another, say, 6 to 8 weeks. Just because then we'll have a little more consistency on our daytime temperatures being a little bit cooler, and our nighttime temperatures staying probably around where they're at right now, maybe into the upper 50s. So those will be a little happier at that point. But lettuce, carrots, radish, go ahead and start some of those. Put them in between. If you've got some green beans growing, or you got something on the edge, or something like that, you got some squash that's going. Throw a few little things in there, because those can take over once the other crop is finished.
We had a cucumber vine come alive all of a sudden.
Oh, okay. One of the vines came back, or
One
you
of the-
lost it?
one of the vines came back.
Oh, okay.
Is it going to fruit?
It might.
Yeah, because it just all of a sudden, out of a pot, There's this big cucumber vine that's vibrant. I mean,
wow. Well,
it's really vibrant. We've gotten off of our bell pepper tree now, our bell pepper plant. Yeah. We got our 7th and 8th bell pepper.
Nice.
And they're like this long.
Okay, so
they're the long ones that are about that big around.
Are they the Cubanelle?
They're bell peppers.
Are they dark green?
Dark green, yeah. Dark green and red. You get red ones too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because they'll ripen to red.
Right.
But
they're
but
longer.
they're not as wide.
Right.
Okay, they're not quite as blocky. I forget which. Yeah, there's different varieties.
But they're very good.
So long as they're tasty.
Susan's been chopping them up and putting them in omelets and everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had
They're really good.
Had some sweet banana pepper. I've got an ancho also, which anchos are hot. And it's like, okay, that one's starting to produce again some more. Got flowers all over my little snacking bell pepper, which the little snacking bell peppers are those little tiny ones that you pay $5 for a bag of them.
For a little bitty thing,
yeah. Well, my plant was, $3, and
Yeah, and you get as much of the bag.
I'll be eating on that if I can keep it from freezing. Yeah, well, actually, I think that plant lasted from last year, so I can keep it going another year.
So yeah, I was surprised to see the cucumber vine come back.
Yeah, cool. Hopefully it will.
Now, the one we had that went along the fence, it's gone.
Right.
It's served its purpose. But we've gotten so far this year, I think we've got 7 or 8 bell peppers. We got 7 or 8 cucumbers. I broke off 9 different blooms on the grapefruit tree.
Right.
That had flowers. They smelled fantastic.
Yeah. So get some fertilizer to those this weekend, and hopefully next year the citrus will kick up and do.
I hope.
Yeah.
Grapefruit at least.
Grapefruit. Hopefully that'll and I mean let it go ahead and do its thing in the springtime. And if you see that there's a lot of fruit on, like say one limb, take off some. Yeah, of those. If it's scattered throughout the whole tree, let it have a few. It'll help the,
I think 2 years in, it'll probably
be
time to start.
To let it have its
fruit. Yeah.
Yep.
What can we do now with? Because as like my lawn guy said, he cut my grass yesterday.
Yeah.
If it doesn't rain and the temperature stays where it's at, the grass won't be, because before he cut it on Monday, by Wednesday,
it was
my little dachshund was dragging his belly through high grass again. But now, if it stays the way it is and the weather stays the way it is, it probably won't need to be cut but once a week regularly.
Correct.
Is this time to start thinking about putting the fertilizer on it, or to get it ready to go dormant?
We would. Yeah, right now, here, the end of September, that early part
of
October.
And can you do a weed and feed at the same time?
If you've had weeds as an issue, yes, you can. Yeah, yes, you can. It's going to knock out the end of the summer weeds and hopefully prevent the cool season weeds from popping up for you. Right. And now that we're not getting rain, it might be one of those kind of things of on the St. Augustine lawns, and that is going, guess what? We got to turn that sprinkler system back on. I wouldn't go gung ho. We're not hot. We're a little on the dry side, but I mean, let the lawn tell you it needs water. Water it thoroughly, water it deeply, even if you are only doing it like once a week. Once that 1st of November comes, we change the clocks again. That usually means we go back down to 1 time a week anyway, but at that point in the year, we usually only need to water the lawn maybe every 10 days to 2 weeks. So it's a matter of just let the lawn tell you what it needs. Get the fertilization done. Take care of that. It's done for the year. You don't have to get fancy and buy a winterizer. Those are really about the only difference between a winterizer and a regular fertilizer is a little bit of nitrogen. There's nothing else different in it.
That's the only difference, just the
nitrogen. And the bag. And the bag. It's a marketing ploy.
No matter what you get, whether you buy the winterizer, you buy the regular fertilizer, what do you do?
Read and follow the directions.
Read and follow the directions.
Read and follow the directions. If you don't want to throw your money down the drain, I've walked up to people where they want to do this and that, and I'll stick my hand out, going, I can spend your money better than you can if you're not going to follow the directions. Give it here. I'll go have a good weekend, with what you're spending.
Yeah.
So, or what you're going to come back to me and ask me to fix later. So
Yeah, 'cause
read
that-
and follow those directions.
Read, and Carol Ann Baldwin will tell you her one constant is read
And
and
none of us.
follow
I
directions.
don't know of anybody, and it's a meme that finds itself on Facebook often. How many times do you get that box, mix that you're gonna do your scallop potatoes? You might have made it 1,000 times in your life. You get it all together, and you throw that box in the trash. 10 seconds later, you pull that box back out of the
course you're
trash,
gonna
and you
read it.
read it again, and you throw it away, and you take it back out again. Just read the directions.
Mine
keep them handy.
Stuff like that
Yeah,
always stays.
just keep it on the counter
Right, it
while
never
you're doing.
goes in the garbage bag.
And a hint for knowing what you're doing, especially if you're new at taking care of this lawn and landscape all by yourself, save the bag. You could hose that bag out or whatever if you don't want it stinky. Fold it all up, put it in a Ziploc bag, and mark on it when you used it. And that way, next year when you're needing fertilizer, you can go, "This is what I got, and it did good," and I used it at this time. Put yourself, and you figure that's how businesses put you on a schedule.
Date yourself.
Date yourself too. You planted plants. Save those tags. Save those receipts for those plants, because most places, if it's a perennial or a tree or shrub, a lot of places have a warranty for them, but it's only good for a year, and you need proof of purchase. And so, take care of that. Or like Hugh, he got this plant, and he lost the tag to the floor, and Roomba sucked him up, and off
he has no
it's
idea what
gone.
it
Now
is.
he doesn't know, and it's like, okay, well, unless you can get me a picture, it's I can guess what it might be, but whether or not how I could tell him where to put it outside or if it would live permanently in the outdoor landscape here in Central Florida, hard to say.
And that's the key right now.
Yeah.
People, even though we live in a climate that's warm all the time, even this little change of 7-8 degrees can make a huge difference on plants.
Oh, it can. It's my hibiscus is going, I'm mad, so I'm turning a whole lot of leaves yellow. It's just mad. I know it'll be all right, but it's mad.
Leaf changing season.
Yeah, leaf change. It's going, guess what? Yeah. My water's not the same. The humidity's changed. It's cooler. It's dark early. I'm going to turn some leaves yellow.
Speaking of leaf changing, if you want to experience leaf changing, the next 3 weeks in the North Georgia and
in the
southern North Carolina mountains,
that's
it's an amazing time to go up there and see the leaves change right now.
And the weather is not horrible.
No, it'll
No,
be
it's
in the
gonna be
daytime. It'll be in
chilly.
the daytime. Like a friend of mine that lives in Columbus, Georgia. The low in Columbus, Georgia last night, 45 degrees.
Yeah, that's cold. That's cold. High today's probably going to be about 72.
72,
maybe?
73. Okay, I don't get me wrong. I like the 72, 73.
Yeah.
I moved to Florida, so I didn't have to deal with the 45.
Yeah.
But-
I whine at those temperatures at 45.
In
At
September.
72, at 72, I put a jacket on and probably
Yeah,
jeans.
It's 45 degrees in September. That's just too cold.
That is
too
too
cold.
cold. That's too cold.
Carol Ann, tell people where they can find you.
Well, they can find me right now on the In the Garden Facebook group page, and I'll be back to work tomorrow down there at Lowe's and Lady Lake.
Taking your last day.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
my
worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst
oh,
day
it
of the
is
vacation.
the worst day. It
'Cause
is.
now
It's
you
like,
gotta go back
get
tomorrow.
up. Now I got to be back to work at 9:00 tomorrow morning.
Matt Gibbs
But-
from Sunrise Auto, he's coming on.
I only got 3 days, and I'm off 2 more. So
Yeah, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto, he's going to come on and go, what the hell's a vacation?
yeah, I'm putting in for 2 more too. So
Okay. Carol Ann, talk to you next week.
yep. Everybody have a great day.
Coming up next, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto, auto repair with personal care with Sunrise Auto. He's on these airwaves next, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA. The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.